Hi everyone, it's Connie with Connie Can Crop, and I'm here with a video with a couple of tips for successful vinyl making, especially when it comes to layering your small little die cut images. I am working with an owl from Hoot and Holler, one of the Cricut cartridges, and this owl has 4 layers. And if you'll notice in front of me here, I've got all 4 layers already cut. And here's one of the tricks that I do. I like to remove the negative space so that the image that I want to use is what's left on my paper. Okay? And then if I have any areas on the inside that need removed, like the eyeballs and the beak, I take my X-Acto knife or I take a paper piercer and I just remove them very carefully, you know, just by carefully picking them out. Okay? It's just a lot easier, and it keeps them nice and ready for you. A couple of tips about vinyl. Number one, the more you play with it, the back, you don't want to touch it a lot, the adhesive on the back, because the less it'll stick. You want to make sure that once you get it down, you keep it down. It just betters the chances of it staying adhered to whatever you're going to stick it on, number one. Number two, vinyl is it's very forgiving as far as its shapes go. So it's very pliable, it can stretch. So you want to be really careful when you're putting those layers together that you're not stretching it and moving it, because you might find out that your layers are not going to layer on top of each other. So if you're a beginner with vinyl, don't be afraid to play with it. It's actually a lot of fun. I recommend that you start with a larger image and maybe something that's not so detailed at first, and then as you've played with it a little bit longer, you can start playing with the smaller images and the more detailed images. I've been doing vinyl for several years now, and I've done quite a few different projects. So, you know, I pretty much tackle everything and anything. I'm not afraid. Anyway, so that was my first tip, was to go ahead and keep them on your paper and delete your negative space. Just throw it away. And then I do recommend using transfer tape. So I've got my transfer tape here. A great place to buy your vinyl supplies is cricketvinyl.com. It's CRICKET vinyl.com. They have some awesome stuff. So I don't have my videographer helping me. He's in bed right now. I'm trying to get this taped so I can get it up for you during Fantabulous Cricket's Challenge Blog's Vinyl University week we're having. So let's see if this will work for us. Okay, so let me remove this backing off of the transfer tape. Transfer tape is awesome, and it's good for multiple uses, so save your back. You don't want to throw it away. Okay. My second major tip would be, when you're doing layered images, before you're going to put your images on whatever your project is, like if you're putting it on a wall, or in my case, I'm going to create a coffee mug. I'm going to put it on this coffee mug. I'm going to build my layers on top of the very bottom layer. And to me, that's easiest. And then once all of your layers are built on this layer, then you can adhere it to whatever you're going to put it on. And that seems to work the best for me. It's given me the least amount of errors, and the smoothest transactions. So I'm going to put my transfer tape down on top of my second layer, and I'm going to rub it really good. You can use a paper folder or, you know, a popsicle stick. I just use my fingernails. They work fine. And you want to be careful when you're peeling this layer off. Make sure if you have any small areas that they lift off easily. See, look at that. It's perfect. Okay? And the nice thing about the transfer tape is it is semi-see-through, so you can see where you're going to put the image. So now I'm going to try to do this so that you guys can see what I'm doing, okay? Without getting my big hands in the way. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lay this image on top of my... I've never made this little owl before, so I'm not 100% sure how he's going to come out. I can see right now that it looks like he has green legs, so that's kind of funky, but hey, you know, some of these Cricut cuts are funky. Doesn't mean they're not cute. Okay, so once again, you're going to smooth it down and be really careful when you're lifting up, because it's going to want to pick up that bottom layer of vinyl. You know, and if you don't get it perfect, don't knock yourself out, because chances are you're going to be your worst critic. That looks pretty good. It's not perfect, but it looks good. Okay, so there's layer number 2. Okay, now we're going to do layer number 3. That's the little owl's feathers. So once again, I'm going to lay my transfer tape down, use my nails, give it a little rub, very carefully. Okay.
Who are you talking to?
I'm talking to my tape.
You what?
I'm recording a video, Jeff. Okay, the vinyl transfer tape's not going to help us with his eyes because his eyes are close together on the cutout, and on the actual die cut they're far apart. So what we need to do is you can use your Cricut spatula. I like to use my X-Acto. I use my X-Acto for a lot of things. I'm just going to very carefully lift up on part of... Can you see this? It just really easily lifts up. And then once I get it, I'm going to lift it up like that. I'm going to bring it over to my little eye. And set it down. And there's one eye. Now we're going to do the same thing with the other one. Bring it over. And set it down. So there he is. Eyeballs and all. Whoops. Pretty cute, huh? Sorry. I know. I'm a bad videographer. So there's my little owl. So now that all of his layers are there, he's going to be a lot easier to put on my cup. And I'll use the transfer tape for that too. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my transfer tape. I'm going to put it on my little owl, on the entire thing. I'm going to rub it down. get it to lift up the whole thing. There he is. See? You lifted up the whole thing. Gonna grab my cup. Gotta figure out where you want to place him. Let's see. And then just kind of stick them on there. Just get them on there. You can pull your transfer tape off. And before you smooth them down, take a look and see if you like it. And I think the placement of that is good. So I'm going to go ahead and smooth it off. My cup is not finished. Let's see. I'm going to finish it. Going to add some words to it, and you can come back in a couple of days on my blog and see what the finished results are. Okay? So thanks for joining me today, and as always, scrappy hugs. Bye-bye.